didn't
Right,
get any. Yeah,
you're recording.
I didn't get to hear of it. Anyway, that's good. Now, look. I'm sure a lot has gone on. I'm sure people have learned a lot about CBD and its potentials and what it can do. So probably I don't want to overlap that. I've seen an illustrious lineup of speakers who probably clued everybody out. And I want to watch the replay. So please
Yeah.
let me get that. Yeah. But I want to say some things. The science is well known. The science is well established around CBD, and it's actually growing exponentially. And so what's happening? I don't know if you know that the big pharma is making massive inroads into CBD, use of CBD, benefit of CBD, and they're finding out many things. So some of the latest developments are with CBD as nanoparticulates as CBD, and CBD in terms of the mental emotional spectrum is something I'm going to be talking about now in a few minutes. So it's very interesting. But what's this thing? See how confused the CBD space is, where some territories it's legal, some territories it's not sure. So it's very, very grey area, isn't it? And the FCA here, nobody's clear about what CBD. So that's the thing. I think certain powers that be are keeping it that way because they're gearing up to fully monetize CBD. Now, one of the most interesting things about CBD that I found is that the molecular structure, so let's take not CBD, sorry, of the hemp plant and the cannabis plant, the molecular structure is highly complex. It's extremely complex. And that's something to take note of. If you actually look at a schema for what it looks like molecularly, it's a very, very complex molecule. And you generally find that plants that have complex molecular structures are very, very useful and can achieve a lot of benefit. And I'll be talking about maybe combining how you combine certain plant compounds together, which have profound on complex molecular structures. So I think they've uncovered well over 500 compounds in hemp plants. I think ditto cannabis. Cacao has got over 400 compounds. Let's have a look. Which other complex plants? Tobacco, which is a medicine, is going to be one of the fastest growing research areas in medicine is tobacco. What's happening to tobacco? Tobacco has been uncovered as a major nootropic benefit. That is if you know how to use it. But tobacco has got over 1,000 compounds in, To contrast that, take a favorite herb, like say like something like nettle or something. There's probably around about 50 different compounds. So you find these highly concentrated plants that are very, very, very useful. And they've got many, many benefits. So a theme I want to discuss today is a massive pandemic that's happening on the earth today. And I want everyone to understand this and understand where they fit within the spectrum of what's happening today. What's happening today is it's very simple. And we all know this. We kind of minimize it. Nobody's sleeping. People are not sleeping. You see, if you look at the stats, I think people are sleeping something like 20.
My gosh, you've hit a major nerve. Nobody is sleeping. Oh my word. Please.
Yeah. And this is major. And what's happening? People have become adjusted to reduce sleep. So when we talk about sleep, the dogma around sleep is 8 hours or the 6 hours or whatever. But that's not really that's not the whole picture. The really most important part of sleep is the depth of sleep. How deep can somebody sleep? Okay, so there are 5 stages of sleep, and stage 4 and 5 is when there's certain very interesting molecular activity happening within the brain, and the body is making certain hormones like growth hormone, and the body is making other metabolites which actually heal and repair. So the healing and repair process only occurs maximally in stage 4 or 5 sleep, which corresponds to theta and delta brainwaves. So I'm going to talk more about those later and how that links with CBD. So people aren't sleeping. People have a degraded level of sleep, but people become adapted to low levels of sleep. And I'm seeing this with people come to sleep for consultations. And one of the main things I check is what's the sleep profile like. I take a verbal self analysis, how you're sleeping. And most people say, oh, I'm sleeping okay. But when we drill down, they find that people now, typically over 40, are waking up at least twice a night to urinate. And they find that people, okay, are you sleeping deep? No, I can be awoken by the slightest noise. So people are not getting the quality of sleep and that depth of sleep. So what I've been able to see with how we analyze people's health by certain technology, which scans and makes assessment of all the body systems, we're seeing this knock-on effect whereby people are not sleeping, not getting the depth of sleep, not able to get to sleep, are not waking up refreshed by the sleep. And that has a knock-on effect on every system in the body. Okay? So it's not well understood, it's not well documented, it's not spoken about, the massive hormonal dysregulation decline when people aren't sleeping. Because the body is actually making hormones whilst one is sleeping. The body is actually generating hormones whilst one is sleeping. So what's important to understand that if we're not sleeping, not getting that sleep, the aging process is accelerating rapidly. There's a massive, well, let's take the word aging and put the word decline. I call it the decline process, which kicks in if the years aren't managed. That decline process exponentially speeds up if people are not getting into stage 4 and 5 sleep. This is a major factor. Now, what's interesting, so one of the systems that's a knock-on effect is the emotional system. So what we're seeing when people come, we find a lot of dysregulated emotion, abnormal emotions, because people aren't sleeping. So irritability, anger, name it, the whole spectrum of emotions is going to be more expressed due to lack of sleep. So what's understood is that the brain is doing reset, recalibration, and even solving problems for you while you're sleeping. If you can get to understand that problem, you can have a notebook by your bed and receive a lot of answers, either in a dream form or aha moments or insights in the morning or later on in the day. The brain is actually solving knotty problems or situations that one may be involved in. So people are losing that ability by not getting into that deep sleep. So what I found, just working with clients, is that the cannabinoids, the whole cannabinoid family, are very, very useful for helping the body to enter into sleep states. So I don't use cannabinoids primarily for sleep. They can help that, but don't help everybody. But they actually set people up to be able to sleep. Okay? Are you with me? Hello? Oh, have I lost you? Oh, return to meeting. Oh, you with me?
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Okay, I thought I lost you. Okay,
No,
yeah.
no, I'm here. I'm
Yeah,
here.
okay, right, yeah.
It's
So
just
we,
my mic is muted.
yeah, so we found that cannabinoids are very, very useful, not primarily to directly get sleep, but to enable the body to enter into sleep states. Now, I'll talk about that. And it was very, very interesting that the cannabinoids in just CBD, even hemp, we haven't gone into the strong ones and things, they actually correspond into the delta and theta brain waves. So these are the highly relaxing brain waves, and those brain waves correspond to certain biochemistry that enable anti-aging and repair modes to be carried out by the body. So we find this very useful. But more
Let me
interesting,
let me just butt in there.
yeah,
It's extremely funny because me and Sister Letitia was just having a little semi-argument.
yeah,
Um, we don't argue. She's such a beautiful soul. We don't argue. But I'm always down on that. One go to bed. The circadian rhythm. It's important to get to bed before midnight. I'm always screaming this like this big kid, like, I wanna get like most people think that it's a trend to be able to stay up late. And as we
yeah,
age, I feel this calling that sleep is the one of the most sweetest things.
Yeah. So we live in a generation that's actually down-regulated sleep due to various reasons. Often it seems there's more interesting things to do than actual sleep. It's called Facebook
This is
and TikTok and online generally. You see, so we're beguiled. We're
no
living in
sleep is in
that
you've hit
world. Yeah,
you don't know what you just hit something so because especially with the levels of sleeping.
yeah,
And it could be related to, the stages, the 5 stages of consciousness, and
yeah,
especially when you reach really deep sleep, when you don't even know that you don't know that you don't know that you exist.
yeah.
That
Uh,
one.
yeah, yeah. That's interesting. No, that's fascinating because what happens when you get to theta sleep, that's deep sleep, but delta, you're as near dead as you're going to be, but
Absolutely.
still alive.
But still alive.
You're gone. Yeah. And under normal circumstances, historically, that occurs between certain hours of the night. So
Yes. And
you
you know
can,
what?
yeah,
I love, you see, in my bedroom, we've got these shutters that is complete black.
yeah,
Dark. No light, don't want no light on the eyeballs, nothing, no form of anything to trigger the photo active aspect of the body. Because
yeah. Yeah, so everyone should have this book in the library. I've just put it in the chat. Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. Get the book or get the audio or look at some of these interviews on YouTube. Profound information. He's actually a sleep researcher. That's his whole life.
wow.
And some of the things he's uncovered are very frightening in terms of what begins to go wrong. We're not getting the quality sleep. You see? Anyway, so and I'm seeing this increasing in my clients, and I'm seeing the link between, let's take cancer. Do you know the exponential risk of cancer goes up when people are not sleeping? Okay, massively, massively, and that's linked to melatonin. So the brain actually generates melatonin starting at dusk. Then melatonin production maximally increases when there's no light, apparently no light. You
Right.
see,
So let's just get it out there for everyone to know. What time should people be going to their bed?
okay, look. Let's say it this way. Here's an old maxim. An hour of sleep before midnight is worth two after midnight. Yeah. So let's do it that way because there's variability to
Is
this
there
thing.
truth
Yeah.
in that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So sleeping before
Right.
midnight, yeah, that's good. But more than the time, I'll give you a test to see if you're getting the right sleep.
Yes.
When you've had the right sleep at the right time for you, for your thing, the body will wake you up at 5 a.m. When you wake up 5 a.m., you went to sleep at the right time and you had
Look
enough
at
sleep.
that.
We see this. I don't quite understand why, but it's almost 5 a.m. on the dot. The body wakes you up.
Look at
You
that.
see something. So this tells you. So instead of working what time, how long, work backwards. If you're waking up at 5 a.m., waking up refreshed, you actually got to sleep at the right time for you at that cycle in your life. Because sleep cycles change. If you're fasting, detoxing, your need for sleep can increase exponentially. You see,
Right.
your need to sleep will exponentially increase whilst you're detoxing and cleansing, doing purification procedures. Okay. Now, then it goes another way because the cleaner the diet, the purer your diet, the less processed molecules, the less toxins, yeah, um, your requirement for sleep actually goes down.
For the
Because
length.
yeah, the length, yeah, goes down because you are one reason why, because the body's got less stuff to process on the biophysical level, but also as well, the other things that kick in terms of pH and other things in order, and you're able to go into a deeper state of sleep. So we found the healthier somebody is, the more they're able to easily, with ease, access stage 4, 5 sleep. Now, I'll give you interesting, a funny one here. So traditionally, old school burglars, they know the time instinctively that people are in stage 4 or stage 5.
Okay.
Because when you're on stage 4 or 5 sleep,
Nothing can wake you up.
the burglar's coming in, busting your glass, going into your fridge, helping yourself to a meal, burgling you slowly and going out again because you're asleep upstairs. Because when you get stage 4 or 5, that is seriously deep sleep. What's happening? People are spending less time in 4 or 5 sleeps. Now, here's a little thing we can do. I don't know if anybody on this here today has the sleep trackers with the sleep tracking ring. I'm about to buy one. It's by a company called Oura. Has anybody heard about Oura? You can buy an Oura ring and you put it on your ring and it will take all your metrics and then you can upload it to your phone or computer and it will tell you what happened that night. And it'll tell you how many minutes you spent in REM, in pre-REM, and all the stages of sleep. That's very, very powerful information. So
Wow.
the only reason I haven't got one already, because I thought most of them are linked to your phone, or a lot of them are linked to your phone, and you've got to have your phone on and the Bluetooth on to read it by your bedside. And
That's
I'm not into radiation in the bedroom. That's another big area. But this Oura ring, it can literally upload to the ring, and you can upload to your phone or your device when you want to. So I'm looking forward to getting that. And I think everyone should get that. Do some sort of sleep tracking like that, and it tells you what's going on. Okay. Now, let me give you some barriers that we've seen to people not sleeping. Not to the big one. It's the elephant in the room, but it's not an elephant. It's a phone.
yeah, yeah,
You see?
yeah.
You see? So
Big time.
what if I, and I've been on this campaign for a very long time, and I can beg, shout, scream, or holler, please, you've lost your mind. So why are you sleeping with a radiation emitting device by your head and think you're going to sleep? It won't happen. It's not possible. So the phone emits frequencies which interfere and interrupt the brain's natural frequencies. So we do an experiment. I do with clients. I say, look, do an experiment. Don't put your phone in your bedroom for 3 days. Nothing else. Phone in your bedroom. 90% of the time, people tell me their sleep pattern just goes up. They're the best night's sleep of their life. Yeah. And then we often look at the router, the placement of router, where people got their routers in the house. We generally find if people got a router underneath their bedroom, they're having high bombardment, not going to sleep. Now, here's the one that drives me absolutely just crazy, and that's to do with that situation today. People have either got a router in their bedroom, which, by the way, is the fastest way to get cancer. And we see this, okay?
Oh my gosh.
A router in a bedroom or a Wi-Fi extender. A Wi-Fi extender. Then the other hidden one is Q box. Was it Smart Q? You know the Smart Q box?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Because the old school Sky was based on a dish. All of a sudden, they don't put a dish up anymore. They give you this Sky box. And you think, wow, you can have a Sky box in every room. But what people don't realize is that Sky box is a very powerful router. Okay. So we
So
find it,
I mean, I've spoken about it maybe a few years ago,
yeah,
and it's a very touchy subject. Um, but the damage that routers do
yeah,
when women are pregnant,
yeah.
it's an unknown, it's an unspoken.
Yeah, no. But you can extrapolate. Radiation damages cells. Radiation damages fast-growing cells. So what we're seeing when we an analysis now, we picked up a pattern when people have high exposure to radiation, they've got stomach damage. Why? Because you've got some of your fastest growing cells in your stomach lining. The second fastest growing group of cells is in the marrow, the bone marrow, because these are fast growing cells making your next generation of red blood cells. Your body's pumping out millions of red blood cells a minute. So we find we can pick up the radiation damage in bone marrow. So a lot of people are not doing very well, not functioning very well, because high level radiation is blocking the production of your next generation blood cells. Without red blood, you can't carry oxygen. You see, so that's another thing. But the thing is, I'm talking about sleep. So we find exposure to Wi-Fi blocks people's sleep. So another hidden one is the last phone call, before you sleep. Now, what happens if you speak on the phone for more than 10 minutes? It's discombobulated the brainwaves. It creates an imbalance in the brainwaves. And by the way, a 10-minute phone call opens the blood-brain barrier. So toxins that were excluded from the brain can now jump into the brain via lymph and blood circuits. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so the last phone call, say someone they're scheduled to sleep at 11, and then they have their last minute natter between 10:30 and 11. You're not going to sleep properly. You're not going to sleep because the brain
No,
has
1 o'clock is still a fight.
the brain has been discombobulated by 10 minutes on a phone call, changes brainwave pattern, and it takes an hour to reset it. So it's a big hidden thing around people's sleep pattern is that last phone call. So now when I do a consultation, I've got to go through all this. Where's your router? How many phones in the bedroom? Okay. Do you work from home? People working from home, sit next to the router often in a home office, and often got a personal phone and their work phone. So it's one of the main things that I make an assessment of radiation exposure. And this creates huge amounts of challenges that is under people's radar. I think people do know instinctively, but just really, because there's no official stance or guideline. Now, listen, this is one of the worst. This is one of the worst is the AirPods, headsets. Yeah. This is what, if I see you wearing AirPods, I tell you, there's quicker ways to commit suicide. You know, so we're seeing AirPods are creating huge amounts of problems. So huge amount of disruption, but I want to focus on the sleep aspects of it. So this is a hidden determinant behind people's ability to get that deep sleep and emerge from a sleep state refreshed. Is people's radiation exposure. So I go as far to tell my clients initially to switch off Wi-Fi at night. Get Wi-Fi protection. You can cage your Wi-Fi in a 5-day cage box to block radiation. But nobody, if you're in a proximity router, again, it really impacts sleep. So now we've got a sleep-deprived generation, just walking tired. The amount of clients who told me, I asked them, then they own up to me, they've literally fallen asleep at the wheel. They admit it. You know, they're falling asleep at the wheel whilst driving, you know. Anyway, so that's sleep. But what happens? I'm interested in what happens when people are not sleeping. The biochemical imbalances that click on, loss of hormone production, loss of human growth hormone. And then what's fascinating is the emotional impact of lack of sleep. And we find this correlation between lack of sleep and a lot of people's emotional statuses going into imbalance. Okay, and so what we found is CBD can help with sleep, but CBD is more helping setting people up for sleep. You see, so what we found when we do the scan, we find this pattern: emotional imbalances, which, by the way, low melatonin, high cortisol. Cortisol's trending right now. Yeah, people know about cortisol.
Yeah.
Cortisol online. Yeah. But they're forgetting cortisol's body partner in crime, which is adrenaline. So high adrenaline state, high cortisol state, emotionally that corresponds to tension and anxiety. So tension, anxiety, these are the products of what's called high sympathetic state. So the body has two things. The body always looking for balance. The body works in balance. So we got to balance sympathetic state and parasympathetic. Parasympathetic is relax, peace, bliss, bless. That's what you specialize in. When you get like people to breathe deep and they bang their gongs, boom, people moving from sympathetic, which is adrenaline, cortisol state, and they're going to euphoric states where people making these relaxed type hormones. People start to feel very, very, very good. Now, what
space of allowance.
So what the pattern is? People not sleeping, they've automatically gone into like high cortisol mode, high adrenaline mode. This is called sympathetic mode, which how people understand it is fight, or flight.
Exactly.
So people are moving around in fight or flight as normal.
And they don't know
They
themselves.
don't,
It's
they
that,
don't know. Yeah.
no.
So flight or flight kicks off to digestion problems.
So you see all that you're saying, because
Yeah.
I my recent thing, um, my recent, you kind of, like you're on sleep. My thing at the moment is autonomy
Right.
and the effect of the lack of it
Okay. Okay. In one's personal life.
in one's personal life,
Yeah. Yeah.
energetically, and all of these things that you're talking about are all contributing to expediting, like you said, aging, um, homeostasis, um, degradation.
Yeah. Now, what I found, there's a state that people are in because they're not sleeping, not functioning very well. So, in terms of autonomy, a lot of times people are locked into jobs, professions. They know they shouldn't be, they know they should have left. Because there's a low energetic status, it's just they're in a cycle and they just got just enough energy to do that, just get some sleep, wake up, do it all over again. And we see this a lot. People stop. And you know where the proof of concept is people doing a lot of times people on night shift. So night shift creates a huge discombobulation in circadian rhythm. That's why I check the health stats of night shift. People on night shift have more high blood pressure, guaranteed high blood sugars.
Yeah.
Yeah, because huge biochemical imbalance in the body. But people on night shift, often they're locked in night shift for years and years. And the pattern is they're locked. They just don't have, get in, not get enough sleep. They've got nothing just to get back and do that shift, get sleep and get locked into this cycle.
And lots, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So what I like about CBD is, and I see this pattern when we scan people. So we program CBD, two different CBD products. So when we scan people, we can see does that person saying their body needs CBD, and the pattern we find when people need CBD is highest is when the emotional balance has gone out of tilt and the person is operating in sympathetic mode. So sympathetic mode is the active side of the immune system. It's the get up and go side. We get things done. If you don't sympathy, you can't get things done. You won't get tasks done. You won't get a job done. Everything. So your body needs sympathetic mode. But here's the problem: people can be so far gone in sympathetic mode, they can't get out. So when they try and sleep, you don't sleep in sympathetic. The body wants to go into parasympathetic. So the body has lost the
hold on.
versatility.
I need to
Yeah,
ask you something
yeah.
because somebody asked the question earlier, and we said it for joke. It was kind of, is ganja a part of our DNA? But part of the inner. But what are you saying? Are you saying that we can become CBD deficient?
No, it's not a deficiency of CBD. But good look. So here's the thing. Here's a cannabinoid system. Here's CBD. CBD can actually cause the body to come into balance. CBD is a balancer. It balances things. It actually creates
So
balance.
it
Okay.
steps in and helps bring back balance.
Yeah, I'm going to put a note. I'm going to put a note in there. Let me just cut and paste something. Um, what we found, CBD changes brain chemistry. It changes brain. Look at this note I put here. I'm going to cut and paste it. It changes the brain chemistry, and it changes the brain chemistry, and that it will up-regulate the relaxin, like things like GABA, and down-regulate high intensity, acetylcholine, that cause people to be in fight or flight mode. So then once you can achieve that state, you get a chance to be able maybe to shut down and wind down and maybe sleep. So let me put this note down, put it down, go here, type this message here, bang. These are some of the things, this is what the CBD is doing in the body. This one is very important, called GABA. Can everyone see that note, GABA? So GABA is called like a brake. So GABA stops the brain running away from itself. If you have low GABA, they've got racing thoughts. They lie down to sleep and they've got just racing thoughts. They can't switch the racing thoughts off. You see?
Okay.
Yeah. Um, you see? Did that come through? Did it come through? Is it in?
Just having a look now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Did you see anything come up in the message?
Oh, I've got to put it to everyone. Okay, send to everyone, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I sent it. Is it going?
Let's see if I got it.
Send chat to everyone. Can people see it?
Not yet.
So these are, I don't know if it's come through. I'm clicking everyone. It doesn't seem to be,
No.
it's not leaving here. Can I send it to you? Let me put it to you. Then maybe you can forward it to everyone. Direct message. Send to,
What was Alice trying to say?
no. Did you see it? I sent it direct to you.
Not yet, no. Do you want to share it on the screen?
That's above my pay grade technical skills to do that right
Okay.
now. Anyway, so basically it's telling us that the actual brain chemistry that's changed with CBD. And on most of this brain chemistry, as it's anxiety releasing. So there's a thing called the 5-HTT1A receptor system. So it's actually a receptor waiting for CBD to get in there and help it. And this receptor,
Okay.
yeah, is a subtype of serotonin. This interaction is associated with anxiety reducing and antidepressant effects. You see?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it produced something. So the CBD works on something called the adenosine uptake inhibition. So this inhibits the uptake of adenosine, leading to an increased adenosine levels in the brain. This action can promote sleep and suppress arousal. And see, so the CBD really helps with, sets people up. It downregulates the over-excitatory mechanisms that's happening in the brain. It just tells the brain, you stand down, sit down, calm down, and it helps the body go into, that's called the sympathetic mode, which is the peace.
Now you're getting good quality sleep.
Peace and bliss mode. So we find that, and we just see this pattern. So
So bliss mode.
the bliss mode, yeah. So that the brain loves bliss. The brain creates bliss.
How important is bliss to existence?
Yeah, it's everything. Now look at this. Let me show you something interesting. Yeah. So CBD, I think the latest research spanned over 500 compounds. Probably going to find more. Cacao, pure cacao has over 400 compounds, but cacao has almost all the precursors for brain chemistry. So I found there's a very interesting combo with CBD and cacao.
Oh, wow.
They work together like two best of buddies. They work together on your behalf. You see?
Okay.
So cacao's got a compound called phenylamine. I can't pronounce it. Call it PEA for short. The name for it, they call it, the nickname is the love chemical, because it induces feelings of love and bliss and happiness. That's in cacao.
And you can bottle this.
Yeah, cacao, yeah. This is cacao, cocoa, natural chocolate. Cacao.
Yeah.
No, not the extract. The actual. I'm talking about the whole food, the whole cacao.
Yeah.
Now, cacao also contains tryptophan. So tryptophan is the highest, one of the highest, is the precursor to melatonin.
Okay.
So we see in a pattern, people got their blue lights on, sorry, their blue light blockers, they're mindful of blue light. Everyone knows about blue light now, understand that. But they're not making tryptophan, so they can't even make melatonin. You see? So the biggest precursor to melatonin is in cacao, in the tryptophan. The body generates, the body can make it. So now there's a thing, have you heard of the entourage effects?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is where we have this is where we have fun with CBD, because CBD lends itself to similar type things that can work together. So you have something called the entourage effects, where you got cacao, the bioflavonoids chemicals from cacao, when combined with CBD, that's a sweet affinity. And then you've got the synergy as well. You've got synergistic effect and the entourage effect. Hey, you're doing really good. You see, and those are chemicals plant biochemicals, plant compounds, and it seems the whole reason for existence is to make you feel well, is to make you feel at peace. You see, so you can combine them, you know. So this.
So I know that you're an alchemist as well. Is this something you make?
No, it's not something I made. I'm just saying you can actually do that. You can take cacao, at the same time you take CBD.
Okay.
You see, so
Right.
cacao over 400 compounds, CBD over 500 compounds. So when you take them, that's a huge amount of activity going on. And a lot of activity is working on nerve system and brain. If you look at
There's a tip right there, everyone.
see,
There's a tip.
cacao improves and can rebuild your brain.
There's a free giveaway. Go and get.
Yeah. You see, so what happens if you're having cacao, CBD, and lion's mane? You see, which actually grows dendrites in the brain. So when we get these complex plant substances, you can actually entourage them and have some interesting things. So when you feel good and there's no tension in your body, you're getting there. You see, any kind of
Absolutely.
tension is not ease. So when you're not at ease, what do you get?
This
This
is
ease. You see,
absolutely.
the body wants ease. That's why the body's got CBD receptors head to toe all over the place, not concentrated in the brain. The body wants the compounds that bring that balance, enable mankind in stressful times, um, uncertain times. You switch on your news, you've gone synthetic mode. You switch on the news, you've gone to synthetic. It's like,
Automatically, you don't even realize it. Yeah.
yeah, you see. So at a time like this, the plant helpers they're saying we're here, they're here, and we're gaining more understanding how to utilize them, which ancients kind of knew but didn't understand, and we can actually know and understand for what the science is actually unraveling, unveiling. You see. So it's very, very fascinating. So you can use compounds to get out to synthetic, get into parasynthetic. How you know you're in parasynthetic? You can switch off, you can unwind. And you can't unwind, you're locked in synthetic. Often people who carry work home and they got the work dialogue going around their head while they're trying to sleep. Or you're trying to sleep and you're thinking, what have I got to do tomorrow? Or you're trying to sleep and you're kind of thinking about things you've left undone.
That's right.
Yeah, this is high sympathetic mode. So hypnosis has impacts because it blocks a lot of things. Cortisol, as is well known and understood now, causes weight gain or fat storage because it messes up with how your body processes carbohydrates.
You know,
So
a simple thing like writing down your to-do list the night before you go to bed.
yeah. Do you know one reason that's powerful?
Absolutely.
Because you've handed it to your subconscious.
Yes.
So
It's up to business now.
the subconscious will now go to work on that. Okay. Um, so does anybody have problem with dream recall?
Oh, everyone's gonna have problem with dream recall.
Yeah,
I mean, most people are nightmaring while they're walking.
yeah. There's a herb called mugwort.
Mugwort.
Yeah,
Yes, I have
yeah,
heard of it.
yeah. Mugwort, very good for dream recall, actually. Very good for dream recall. With intention, using mugwort, um, you can actually stimulate more dream recall. So there you are. Okay, let's get back to synthetic fantasy. It's a big thing. This is the one of the biggest things
This
in
is this is
humanity.
massive. This is big. This is
Yeah, yes.
oh,
So what do you find? We've got populations who are tense. You get the road rage, random killings, stabbings, abnormal behaviors.
man. Listen, when I moved to Portugal, it was one of the best things I ever done. I mean, my dream place is to be in Africa ultimately, but the idea of coming out of London and coming into a space where you can feel the difference from being in that synthetic to the parasynthetic, the way how your body responds, your mind responds, your togetherness responds. I mean, gosh, sometimes you, again, like when you said you're stuck in a loop, it's hard to tell someone about something else because the loop is their reality. They, they hold on to the loop like it's the be all and end all.
Yeah, that's what's that. Another thing about CBD, okay, because everybody's consciousness is biochemical on one level. Okay, so biochemistry, and what's the highest biochemistry determines consciousness is brain chemistry.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah. So some people are locked in brain chemistry. Someone's in a biochemical brain state where serotonin, if serotonin goes low enough, they're depressed. If dopamine goes low enough, you're apathetic and what's called amotivational. You haven't got to get up and go.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
become inactive.
So we are very victim of brain chemistry. But having said, brain chemistry can shift with exercise and deep breathing. You see. So another benefit the CBD is it can actually change your brain chemistry, and you get a pattern interrupt in terms of brain chemistry, and you get a chance to maybe change patterns and shift patterns, get some new ideas, new functions, new behavior coming in. So yeah,
That's amazing. I mean, I'm so glad you're speaking of these things because the level of vilification and how weed, marijuana is personified.
yeah,
That
yeah.
it's only a stoner's again.
I actually made a note in the ancient text of the Bible, in Exodus 13, there's a special oil that the priesthood is given precise instructions to make. Okay, that's very interesting. It's got certain things. It's got some things. One of them is cinnamon, and but one of the herbs in there, modern scholars have worked out that's cannabis. I think in universe ancient Hebrew, they looked at and found one of the herbs in that compound that the priests were told to make and use it for a specific purpose was cannabis. You see? So recent research, I think, came out a decade ago, actually looked at the linguistics of that and said that's actually cannabis they're talking about.
In the church.
Yeah.
In the church. Look at this.
Yeah. You see, so ancient, so specific herbs are there as, I love the phrase, that's a hit phrase now, plant helpers. That's a terminology now, recent plant helpers. So yeah. So we generally find the more complex the plant, the more the complex the molecular structure of that plant, the more that plant is powerful and you find a lot the more powerful plants that they have controversy around them. Okay, because anything that's powerful is subject to what? Abuse.
Absolutely.
So if you don't know how to use it, automatically you're abusing it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There's abuse, there's misuse, there's abuse.
Absolutely.
So what makes a difference? Knowledge.
It's not knowledge.
It's knowledge. It's knowledge. It's know-how. You see, it's actually knowledge. So what, like I said, one of the fastest growing research in terms of plants that thing is tobacco as medicine. You know, there's a lot of hidden information research, and it's coming up very soon. You can see that coming up into mainstream consciousness. Tobacco is now understood as a major nootropic. I hope everyone understands that term.
Wow. I mean, I got into nootropics maybe about 12, 15 years ago. A lot of people may not understand what nootropic is. Basically, you got basic biology. When we talk of organs, people skip the brain, not realizing that the brain is an organ. So dealing with nootropics is dealing with the brain.
Mm-hmm.
How you nourish the brain.
Enhance the brain function. So I don't like the term like neurohack.
Neurohack.
Yeah. So hack is only is aggressive. Like hack is destroy. Hacker. So I've got the term hack, but we get the meaning where you can actually use plants to actually enhance,
Hijack.
shortcut certain processes.
Exactly.
So these are the plant health has that profound ability. So another interesting. So what I found is that the CBD can really affect emotions and people's emotional states and stuck emotional states. Okay, so I'm very big on leveraging. So leveraging with other compounds that work together. I think there's a mutual enhancement. But also, I'm very big on enhancing with non-consumable enhancements. So I'm going to show you something very interesting here. And this is strategy that I do, and I've just started doing it, but it's profound. Okay. And it crosses into your territory, but in a very interesting way. Right.
Okay.
Okay. I recommend people should get a wuja.
Okay.
Have you heard of wuja?
Yeah, let them know.
Oh, you know about wuja?
Of course, man. Tell them.
Okay. I was thought you were going to say, Derin, what are you talking about? What's a wuja? That sounds rude. Okay, so I found this technology as soon as I heard about it. In fact, is one of my correspondents I work with in America, and he's a specialist on brainwave therapy, and he actually introduced me to it, and I bought one straight away. I'm going to show you a wuja, right? Hold on a minute, let me go off camera. I'll show you my wuja.
See it there now?
It's the wuja.
See it there?
So this is the future technology now. Okay, so this is a wuja. So basically,
Vibration.
is a vibration. Okay, so this wuja is got they're called transducers. Not actual they're beyond speakers, and they carry frequency. So when you wear it, you put it on. You put it on like a vest, and what it does, it's got
Send frequency
it's
right.
frequency, but it's working on low frequency. It's called, so that the cutting edge is showing something it's called infrasound, low frequency sound. Okay,
So that would be like, let me just that would be like walking around with the 26-inch Tibetan bowl on you, walking around with you.
Yeah, carrying it directly imparted direct into your body.
Right into your body.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
So now here's the thing. So we've heard of infrared. Yeah, we don't say infrared. Yeah, that's infrared light.
Yeah.
Above. Yeah, there's infrasound. Infrasound. So that's sound below the hearing spectrum. That's how you can't actually hear it. You can feel it.
That's right. That's right.
So that device enables you to have infrasound go directly into your body.
Into your system.
Now, I tell you what, when I got this, I use this, I got very relaxed. I use whatever plant help I need to get in a very relaxed state. And I would start using infrasound. There's two ways you can use it. You can use it for music directly, or you can use tones and frequencies. Listen, I have not even got to tones and frequencies. I've just been using it for music. And I visited all my old
catalog.
Yeah. And
vibes in out like
I was Garvey's Ghost. I was into Garvey's Ghost, which got some of the deepest bass lines ever in any recording music.
Yeah.
I put a lot of deep bass. And I'll tell you what, the feeling is something else.
I'm telling you.
It's very interesting to happen. So that low frequency sound directly going into your body is hugely
oh my gosh.
Hugely medicinal, you know?
Absolutely.
So when I did research onto, if everyone's going to research infrasound, low frequency sound, it's one, again, it's a future thing that's possible here now, and you can see more developments around that. So infrasound, what it does, it's sending the sound frequency into the body. And remember, everything is water. The body is X amount of water, okay? That percent water. So the infrasound is restructuring the water in your body.
Tell them, man, please, man.
The sound is causing, but it's restructuring in a harmonic. It's creating a harmonic, and possibly you got doing sound. You're creating sacred geometrics in the body. Actual body. Infrasound frequency. So it's very fascinating. So imagine that you're very relaxed. You've had some cacao, you've had some CBD. You're relaxed. You're doing good already. And now you leverage that. I'm the ultimate leverager, where you get multiple things going simultaneously for the best benefit.
Exactly.
So I put in my infrasound. I'll tell you what. Oh my word! It's a very good sensation. But since I did that, I've had a lot of shift in my life just using those infrared sounds. So we've got the concept, emotions are things, and all emotion is stored in the body.
Absolutely.
A solid, actually tangible substance. Emotion.
Absolutely.
We see this all the time. We understand the concept, anger is liver. So liver's
That's
actually,
right.
there's metabolites of energy, which is emotion is energy, which can be stored in the body. Emotion intangible can be stored as an intangible in the body. And this is where we get a lot of disease, disorder, malfunction of organs through energy, negative energy stored as emotion. So it's very interesting that using infrasound, you can actually fast track a healing process by dislodging that
Wow.
with sound frequency. So this
Yeah,
is
I mean, what you're saying, I already know in the sense of the work that I do with the sound healing and the particular bowls that I have. But
yeah.
hearing science catch up with it in terms of now you can, But again, it's a very important to understand these modalities of healing. And
Yeah.
what Derin is really talking about is again state management.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting your body into a state of quote unquote bliss. You may not even know how to relate to that, but your cells are consistently looking to be dancing in bliss.
Yeah. Okay. Someone said, would you? So it's would you with a double O, double O. And I highly recommend get one.
Get one.
You'll thank me later. So you can use it with music or actual pure tones. Now, I've not even started using pure tones yet. I've just been
Yeah, the
using
pure
music.
tones.
And what happens, it's like music from aeons ago through that, it sounds totally different. So
Totally different.
you actually have an experience of the music.
Of the music. You're
What
not
comes
just listening to it. You're
what comes close to it? We've been in like thing like Jazz Shaka Hi-Fi, and you're standing
Jesus.
right in front of the speaker. No,
Jeez.
that's where it's like.
Jeez. Baseline.
Yeah,
Jeez. You're
yeah,
getting baselined.
yeah. So what's interesting, Tarun, is interesting that so the interface today of technology and very basic like plant technology is, I think it's very fascinating. We can use technology and healing technology, and we can use plant compounds and achieve extraordinary levels of wellness by combining and layering together and doing things else. So another thing I do with CBD, you can have CBD and use specific essential oils. Essential oils are some of the highest medicines. And by the way, I haven't got it now. I've had some CBD essential oil. Has anybody ever seen that? That's not oil. I'm talking about
Not oil,
essential
yeah.
oil. Like
That's
same
right.
way you get like rosemary oil, lavender oil. Yeah, the CBD flower produces one of the most divine oils.
So now you're talking about the
Exquisite.
pureness of the pure now.
Yeah, that's essential oil.
That's right.
And it is so profound, that oil. It's actually one of the most expensive essential oils. When you talk about expensive oil, you talk about sandalwood, talk about jasmine. So these
Yeah.
oils are very expensive. But hemp flower oils are actually quite expensive. You can buy it online, but I'll tell you what, you'll find me, it's such a divine smell. That's how, anyway, so you can use oils, specific oils, to get a relaxed, highly relaxed state that diffuse or applies to the body. You're very, very relaxed. And then you can actually use, I told all my clients to go online, and this is a big thing now, where you can go online and find different frequencies like delta, brainwave frequencies. They're online, like isochronic tones
Mm-hmm.
and brainwave synchronization tones, binaural beats. I think
That's right.
hope everyone knows these by now. I think they know, but some people don't know them. But you're missing out. So you can actually go online, go to YouTube, and put in hemisync or binaural beats, and choose what you think you need or want. So if you're trying to sleep or unwind, you can go into like 4 hertz theta, then go down to below 4. One is delta. That's a deep
Mm-hmm.
sleep state. Yeah. And then you can, if you want to do concentration, there's a range called 40 hertz.
That's
So
right.
40 hertz has been demonstrated in university studies to actually help with Alzheimer's, improve memory, and physically, this is sound waves, by the way, but
That's right.
physically change the structure of the brain.
Wow.
So what if
Just sound.
just sound delivered in a certain way where it's called binaural beats. So what if you're doing something like lion's mane, which has been known to actually increase new dendrite growth, but you layer that with sound frequency as well. You see in some so these are things we can do. We can layer strategies and get
Right.
positive benefits. And we ought to be doing this. We ought to be I
So
tell people,
maximizing on the entourage effect.
yes, you ought to be doing healing rituals and practice on a daily basis, every single day. You see?
I mean, this fascinating. I mean, oh gosh, fascinating.
So
You're
I've
gonna
got,
be at the retreat with us, ain't you?
hopefully, you never know. See, I've got a concept. It goes like this: 10 things. It's Derin's 10 things law. Okay, I invented it. It's my law. 10 things. It goes like
So
this.
everybody get your pens out. Get your pens out. This is gonna be important.
Not necessarily, because I'm not going to tell you 10 things. I'm going to tell you the principle of 10 things. But here it goes like this: every day, you should do 10 things which are pro-health.
Beautiful. I'm writing it down. Listen, write it down. Don't play with me, you know. Write it down. Every day,
do 10 actions
acts.
which are pro-health. Why? Okay. So if you deliberately, a lot of people here, if you're on the health thing anyway, you're probably doing it anyway. But let's say deliberately do 10 actions of pro-health. Yeah. So it's not any 10 actions, but 10 in that 24-hour period, you've done.
You
10
know that
actions.
was healthy
Yep.
for you.
Yeah. So whether it's your juice, your deep breathing, your affirmations, your stretching, your gym session, your sauna, maybe that day you're scheduled for a massage or some body work. Blah, blah.
Love it. 10
By
a
by
day.
the time you go to bed, you have done 10 actions. And they're not always big, something that can be many actions, just reviewing your health goals.
Mhm.
Just having a stretch. If you've done 10 actions pro health, when you go to bed, you go to bed healthier than when you woke up. Number one. Yeah. Number two, if you do that straight for 30 days, you'd have done 300 actions pro health. Yeah. So why is that important? Because all health follows laws of cause and effect, which is action, reaction. So the average person not taking care of their health is doing 10 actions against their health and not even realizing it.
Exactly.
So at the 30-day mark, their health has gone down. And by the way, the body's got a 90-day cycle of healing and repair. So every 90 days, you stand what you've done in the previous 90 days.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? When what I say, your existence, this is how I frame it. Your existence is 6 weeks behind and 6 weeks ahead.
Yeah. So you've got to pay it forward.
You're paying it forward.
Yeah, you're paying it forward. Either negative or positive. You're paying it forward.
You got to pay it forward.
Yeah. Now, listen. So if you do 10 actions a day, after a month, let's say 21 days, you've now developed a habit.
Yeah.
Okay. After 3 months, you've now developed a lifestyle. You see? So if you do that after a month, you're not deliberately doing it, you're doing it almost automatically. You see? So I came up with this insight when looking at my clients and who did well, who didn't do well, and who did well after finishing their core program with me. And I found that clients who established habits.
Absolutely.
And had habits where on a daily basis, plus points were going into that health account. And it became just automatic. It's like people weren't even having to think about it. It just becomes who you are and what you do.
Exactly.
So this is a very big principle that I've learned, and it becomes automatic to do something on a daily basis for health. Going for a walk.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So they don't all have to be big things. You might have one big thing that day, or one big thing in the 30-day cycle, or one or two. But a lot of them are seemingly small things, but seemingly small things.
Seeds. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're seeds, and they are compound. These are compound things that compound
actions
over every
right.
over every 30 days of self-love self-care in action. So yeah, that's the principle that we've learned from observation. So another observation.
Is this number
Uh,
2?
yeah. No, there's not numbers. I'm not giving this
Okay.
10 things. I'm just saying as a principle, 10 things.
Okay. Yeah.
That could be different for most people. But
Yeah.
most things are we're linked to the kind of foods like having juice, green juice, vegetable juice, one of the most profound things you can do on a daily basis for health, getting the balance in pH. And we see 100% of the time that people having daily intake of juices have the best pH levels,
Okay.
best pHs in the body. So what I want to say to that, and so I want to say something about CBD. So CBD is profound, highly beneficial, but don't expect CBD to override and repair things that needs repaired another way. One, CBD will help. It can put you in a good place where you can actually become more conscious and start to have the wherewithal to repair things. But if you have other things in like you have your pH in order, the CBD can move beyond some basic functionalities and go into very, very high level functionality in the way it's working for you. You see? So you've got to have the pH in order. And by the way, it's an interesting factoid that the right side of the brain has a higher pH requirement than the left side of the brain.
Okay.
Yeah. So right side normally is higher pH. So what do we make of that? What do we actually make of that? Make that the right side of the brain is functioning at a much more advanced level than the left side of the brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, is work. The right side of the brain, let's put it this way, can move and operate in the past, the present, and the future simultaneously. Okay, so within the context of Western culture, everyone's locked in left brain primarily. Educational educational systems create based on linear logic type thinking,
Crazy.
which is opposition to creative type thinking and behavior. So again, with CBD can really help with moving from left brain, which is linear logic, moving into like a quantum phase where you operate in a very, very different way, and you get more insights.
That's
Because
right.
the insights are not coming from left brain necessarily.
Brain. Yeah.
Insights are coming from right brain. And to be honest, where is that right brain? Where's it located? Well, we've understood for
Your
decades.
left, my right.
Yeah. We've understood for decades now that your brain is in your gut. It's primarily the right.
It's funny because the brain that is in the head, there's 2 spheres to it.
Yeah.
But if you look how it works, this left side is more governing of the right side. The right side is more governing of the left side, but they all meet and centralize in the gut.
Yeah. So you've got the bilaterality, but the unification is down here.
It's in the gut.
So all true insights are coming from the teacher within.
So
in tuition.
Absolutely. And this is where heart brain comes in now. Because the brain also has a heart. So the communication between heart and the gut is much more stronger, or should be, what you believe is going on in your head. So when you look at your metaphysical structure, there's more unification between understanding how you work between gut, solar plexus, and heart.
Yeah. There's the Heart Math Institute broke all that down. There's some good teachers on that. But what's really interesting is we get gut disturbance. Gluten can really mess up that gut disturbance. A lot of processed foods, a lot of animal foods mess that up. Can I tell you an interesting experience I had once? Yeah. So years ago, I was introduced to a gentleman, and he was in the country, and he had a machine that could actually measure chakras in real time. You can actually photograph, and you can actually bring a thing and it show all the chakras on the body, which is interesting. So I flew down there. I want to see this. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so he scanned me on his machine. Then when he scanned me, then he said, "Oh, have you been fasting?" And I said, "No." As a matter of fact, I said, "I've been eating bananas all day." I said, oh, interesting. Why'd you say that? He said, your solar plexus chakra was really strong. It was moving at a very high vibration rate. And I thought, that's
Wow.
interesting. So I clocked that. It was interesting. Now, later on, this guy, because he was Hungarian, and he told a story that he ate the Hungarian national dish, which is goulash,
Okay. Yeah.
which is basically a very
Stodgy
stodgy, it's rice and
meat.
meat.
That's right.
And so the uh he had the um he had the goulash, and he noted, well, he didn't use the term, I use the term, but he had the Hungarian version of niggeritis.
Okay, yeah, I know that. Rice and peas and mutton and yeah, nigger rice all the way.
And
Yeah, I know that.
he immediately felt very dopey and sleepy. And he thought, what does that look like when I scan my chakra energy field?
Oh my gosh, what a mess.
So he checked his chakra energy field after that heavy goulash meal, and he found his solar plexus chakra was just disorganized.
Completely.
It was not spinning, because
Completely.
chakra will spin, and that
That's
spin
right.
is
That's what gets the light and the action.
yeah, and it's carrying the energy up to the next chakra,
That's
the next
right.
chakra. Yeah. So he said that, and he had no idea what he said in terms of how I process that information. So he earlier on the day, he'd noted I've been eating bananas, but my chakra energy field looked like someone who's fasting. So
Right.
clue there, when you're fasting, you're working higher
More efficiently.
at the non-physical level.
Physical level.
Yeah, you
Absolutely.
see, yeah,
Non-biological level. Yes.
that corresponds to spiritual. Yeah. So I had no idea what he told me. So somebody in really heavy processed food, heavy starches, dead animals, whoa, you're locking down your chakra energy field. You're locking down your vital life force. So
Absolutely.
all the energy is locked in chakra here, and it can't ascend up here and throw. Where do you want the energy to go? On the crown,
To the
on the head
crown.
chakra. So that's things, which is color purple, which is like, this
Thousand petals, yeah.
this is the level where you're operating in the realm where
Enlightenment.
God wants to talk to man in that level. That's why you want to get revelation or download, you got to fast. And
That's
then
right.
God can reveal things to you in that state. You see, so that was very very fascinating to have that insight in terms of how diet works, how fruits work. So you can make a case, and we've seen this a lot. When you have a high fruit diet and a high raw food diet, energetically you're operating in a different plane, a different plane.
Absolutely.
So I saw this. I started seeing this many years ago. For eating a diet, basically raw food diet. I saw one thing begin to happen. I saw many things, but one thing very interesting started to happen. Starts to have more synchronicities, synchronous experiences that was 1 in a million or billion coincidence. That how did that even happen?
Wow.
You see?
Wow.
So we found this, and I started to talk to other people eating raw food, primary diet, and they all start to say the same thing. You see, so this is where the
Okay.
interface of physical, non-physical, interface of diet, spirituality,
It's
interface
important.
interface of diet and activation of latent potentials within human. Okay. So now, has anybody ever done a fasted, or at least just go mono eating, or at least partial fast, and then use like CBD? It's a different experience. It's a very different experience. So
Very deep. Find out
yeah,
what that question is. I see a question, a hand raised.
yeah,
But say that again, because that there is so important to understand what you
yeah,
just said, because
yeah,
I mentioned earlier about using things inappropriateness. And again, if you look at the history of how shamans and
yeah,
so forth interacted with CBD, THC, they would fast
yeah,
before.
yeah. Now that's sacredness. That's respect. Yeah, and that's use, not abuse. You see? Um, okay, confirm it. Saving,
That's use, not
not
abuse.
abuse. You see? Yeah.
Absolutely. And
So
when
in
you
a
tap, just touch that, read just because you just said a magical thing there. When you do that and you fast and you interact with the CBD on that sacred level.
Yeah. I see. So in a fasting state, even your brain chemistry is different. Your brain chemistry changes when you're fasting. You see? So when you have a big meal, you get boom, big dopamine rush, bang, serotonin. So carbohydrates trigger serotonin in the brain. So you get this happy feel-good factor going on. But it's temporary, then you need more again. You see? So fasting changes biochemistry and changes brain chemistry. So you're going to a zone where you're fasting or you're fasting well, then you see you're having a very different experience in terms of the benefit you can achieve from utilizing CBD and other highly complex compounds like that.
Wow. So
So
I've got someone who's thrown up their hand. They really want to ask a question. Marsha, are you there?
Hi, brother. Good afternoon. Good evening.
Good evening. Good afternoon. How are you doing, my dear? You have a question? I've seen your hand being thrown up.
Yeah, just a quick question for Derin, really. Hi, Derin. It's Marsha, Winsome's daughter. How are you? Long time no see.
Marsha, hey, how you
How are
doing? How you doing?
you?
Good, how you doing? Good, good, good.
Derin, do you remember the first time you saw me? Do you remember what happened? Do you remember what happened to you the first time you scanned me and we had our consultation? Years ago, just before my mum and I did your Health Restore program.
Yeah, remind me, please.
I had no salt in my system. Your head hit the desk.
Okay. Yeah, and I do see scenarios like that from time to time.
Hmm.
Yeah. So remind me. So you were tired before that, before this, you were tired all the time, yeah?
Oh yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, obviously, been raised. My dad's a Rasta. I grew up on an ITIL diet, so I've never been a lover of salt. But when I first met you, I mean, I never had issues. But you said I have got no electrolytes in my. You told me to put salt in water, and drink it. Your head hit the desk. You were like, "Oh my God, you've got no salt in your body."
Yeah. It's still a problem now. Can I tell you where this problem came? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
How salt became an enemy. Okay. Now let's look at it this way. The studies, a lot of scientific studies, a lot of them are skewed. Just because a
Hmm.
science study doesn't mean it's perfect. You just got to look at it from different angles. So
Right.
a science study came out in, I believe it was the 70s, which is the advent of like a lot of processed foods, and they're trying to understand what's in these processed foods and what's happened to humans with processed foods. And they started to research salt and alarm bells. Salt is dangerous. Salt is poisonous. Salt this. So from the 70s till now, from that study, everyone's been traumatized and terrified of salt. But riddle me this one. So imagine a scenario, a guy's been knocked off his bike, is badly injured, is in the back of an ambulance on the way to A&E. What's on his face? A mask, oxygen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
What's on his arm? A
Say
drip, saline. So when it comes
so.
down, the whole entire basis of biochemistry, water, oxygen, salts. Otherwise, you don't have chemistry. It's not possible. You see? Now,
Wow.
so the problem with that study is they were testing refined table salt,
Wow.
which was the
Not
only
not
salt.
Celtic or
Yeah,
Himalayan. Yeah.
Celtic salt wasn't really in mass consciousness at that time.
No.
It's only for people who knew. Everyone was using table salt,
Yeah. Wow.
which is highly refined.
Sand and glass.
Yeah, it was highly refined and contained high levels of sodium
Hmm.
than is found. So they concentrated it, made it nice and salty for people, but it was causing a lot of problems. So now, a generation or two later, people woke up and realized it's not really the salt, it's the
Yeah.
processed salt, but we need salt. So people hip to sea salt and unrefined salts.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the
Right.
thing.
Well, I had a question, Darren. That was
Yeah,
it was just he was just saying hi.
yeah.
My actual question that I've got is would there ever be a scenario as a naturopath that you would ever place a human being on a carnivore diet?
Okay. Is there any situation where I would encourage a human being to eat dead animals? No.
Thank you. It's just I was very, very, very shocked recently to hear that a very well-known naturopath had actually prescribed someone to go on a carnivore diet. And I just wanted to ask you because I know that there's this new thing where people think that they can correct their gut health with just eating meat, and everybody, oh, it brings inflammation down, it does this, it's amazing. Like, oh, my brain fog's gone and all of this is gone. And so
It's
it seems
funny.
to have now,
Yeah.
it seems
No.
It's funny. I've seen beef supplements. I'm like, what on earth is people doing?
Yeah. See, can I tell you why it's got traction? Yeah. It's got traction because when people go on that diet, they're not eating the carbs. They're not eating the carbs and other things which was inflaming their body before. You can change your diet from one bad diet to another bad diet and start feeling better because your body's literally had enough of that cycle of foods. At least you give it rest from that cycle of foods. You see?
right.
So and the other thing around the carnivore diet, meat is highly concentrated in nutrients, extremely high concentrated. So people get this energy surge because they weren't getting that much nutrients from what they eating hitherto. But the massive downside starts to kick in because that diet is extremely acid forming.
Correct.
Okay, so it's
Correct.
not that's one level is not sustainable. Now I'm highly, highly, highly suspicious of all animal-based foods because a thing called prions. These are prions are microbes which you can't kill them. They're in meat. Prion infection, and then unless someone is having pure organic, bona fide organic, all animal produce is heavily laced with antibiotics.
And in fact, Darren, that
Yeah.
prion protein was very highly linked to CJD, Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. It
It-
was a prion protein that was very, very, I don't know. I remembered when I was at uni, it was when CJD hit, and I
yeah,
was in the middle of doing all my meat inspection as an environmental health officer. But it was a prion protein. Just now you said the word. It was
yeah,
something specific to do with the prion protein in that whole CJD
yeah.
situation.
It hasn't gone away.
No,
It's probably morphed into something else. Yeah. So yeah, I really advise people to think carefully about think about that. If they insist on doing it, like an experiment, but jump out of it because it's afterwards. Can be there are massive downsides for that. Massive, massive, massive downsides
of course.
from
Thank you
that.
so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
You've been wonderful. Thank you for the info. I'm at the wood jar and
Mhm.
everything else. Lovely to see you and love to Sophie. Speak
All right.
soon. God bless. God
Okay.
bless.
Okay. Blessings. Bye. Yeah. Um,
Beautiful.
yeah.
So yeah, we was talking about. I've got one of Michael Holloran in the background. He's going to come back on and join on the meeting.
Yeah.
If you just deal with that for me, please, my dear. So yes, some really interesting things that we've covered. We've covered CBD. We've covered sleep. How important sleep is to the cycle of just good health, maintaining your health. You need to get good quality sleep. How
So, no, listen, tell you what, if you say that, people switch off because everyone knows that. They know that. But where you get people's attention is that people not sleeping, it affects hormones specifically, hormone degradation, okay? But
you
the
say
main
hormone deprivation,
degradation of hormone,
degradation.
male and female. We're seeing testosterone levels drop low when people are not sleeping. T level goes
Okay.
down. Yeah, we're seeing female hormone go up as we're not sleeping. But what I'm concerned about today in relation to CBD is that when people have imbalanced sleep, okay, let me put it this way: all security forces, police, etc., worldwide, they've worked out how to get the perp to confess. Okay, if they deprive the suspect of sleep or wake him up in the middle of the night, after a couple of days, say a week, he'll confess to anything, even the crimes he didn't commit. Yeah, because they've worked it out. If you want to psychologically break somebody down, mess up their sleep. They understand that, you see. So a lot of people are walking around in a state they're not sleeping and there's severe psychological, emotional imbalances. I'm seeing this. You see, so that's, I'd like to let people know that, think about that. So we say you're not sleeping, so no, that matter. But I'm telling you, there's severe psychological degeneration that happens that leads into cognitive decline, and just a mental and emotional black hole if you don't get that sleep. So the body actually repairs neuronal, mental, and emotional pathways and goes into solution mode whilst one is sleeping. So if we can look at sleep from that angle, I think we're going to respect sleep a lot more.
Absolutely.
It's going to need to sleep a lot more and get the deep sleep. Okay, so that's why we're very big on sleep. That's why we use essential oils, sleep products, and in the mix, the cannabinoids really help. And the cannabis also helping the damage caused by lack of sleep. Because we're not sleeping, that high level emotional imbalances kick in. So let's say unresolved anger, unresolved grief, unresolved resentment. These start to build up and become permanent part of that person's spectrum with no way of resolution till they reset. So we found that some people can get a reset just by being aware. When we do the scan, we can see all the emotions, and that just that acknowledgement can start a process of resolving. And now we go around to start to get repair by moving out sympathetic mode, able to enter parasympathetic mode and start to get the deep sleep, start to get into stage 4 and 5 of sleep. And that's where the magic happens. And magical things happen in stage 4 and slide 5 sleep. And you always know when you've had a good night's sleep, you wake up, for me anyway, you wake up, I want to exercise. I feel like I want to exercise. Or I wake up, I feel like I want to solve problems. But yeah, you feel like you want to go and
get into the day. That's right.
Solve problems. Now, if you haven't had enough prayer sleep, you don't want to solve any problems. You just don't, and you're just going to log yourself through the day.
You lose half the day.
Yeah, this is very important. Now, I want to say as well, what we found, if people have the power nap under 15 minutes, that's fine. But if people are having a sleep in the daytime over 15 minutes, it's knocking on to nighttime sleep cycle, and it's putting that sleep cycle out. Okay, that's very important as well. And we've seen the pattern where melatonin is really blocked by nighttime light exposure, screen, things. So it's a real thing. So everyone understands blue light. I talk about blue light, everybody understands that. But the problem is people understand it, people not really thinking it's that bad. Okay, blue light, I understand it. People got it in principle. But because I'm scanning, we can actually see in real time this person is literally not making any melatonin, and they're not making any tryptophan. They're not sleeping. 100%. Mathematical, direct, exact correlation between those two brain chemicals. And when those two are low, we find the body's always asking for CBD. Or CBD and is the other stronger cannabinoids as well. The whole spectrum of the hemp plant, you see. So we see that pattern. We see that pattern again. So it's interesting how the body works. So we find a lot of times that people have health issues through digestive issues, not breaking down their food, not absorbing food, then low in B vitamins. So B vitamins run the brain. So B vitamins are so critical to brain function. So a lot of people, they get another level of problem. So they have B vitamins. So I'll give you interesting B vitamins and fatty acids. There's a guy called Bernard Gesch. He's got an organism called Natural Justice. Now, what he did, he thought, hold on a minute, all these people in prison, they can't be all that bad, like the ACAT prisoners. And because he understands biochemistry and brain function, he got permission on a small grant to do a project. And what his project was, he got all these ACAT prisoners on B vitamins and I think it was fish oils as a source of omega fats. And within 3 months, he got these prisoners who were smashing up their cells and just disruptive. starts to learn to read, starts to learn to play chess, and start to become model prisoners. What's now happening? The brain,
Yeah,
the
brain activities changed.
yeah, basically just through nutrients, you know. And we're seeing a pattern with a lot of the teens and preteens, a lot of the preteens and preteens. One of the first questions I asked, when the parents come, the teens playing up, how's their sleep? You see?
So
And often the
powerful.
listen to what's happening to the teens. The teens have got Xbox in their room. They've got their phones under their pillow, not sleeping. Okay, they're not sleeping, and their behavior and their motivation in school just starts to go south. You see, so sleep is integral into your mental resilience, your mental health. Now, clue, I don't know if anybody's here has ever worked in a psychiatric ward or psych hospital. They will tell you they do not sleep in those places. They got disturbed sleep. Okay, so that's part of the profile of emotional mental
Going
health.
mad. Yeah. On your way.
People not getting their Zeds, you see. So I've had people listen to this, yeah.
So I just want to, because I don't want to, I know I touched on it and I grazed on it, and I don't want people to miss out on this.
yeah,
You touched on a lot of the things in terms of technology interference, Wi-Fi interference, and so forth. But what I want people to really understand also the importance of what they're putting in their mouth that's endangering their sleep pattern and their healing pattern.
okay. Okay, this is a pattern with this is
Why you thought it a necessity, and sometimes you prescribe this to your clients that they go on a raw food diet. Like,
yeah. There's less a raw food. You've got more enzymes, more life force, more nutrients, and less waste byproducts. There's all breaking down the food produces waste products. You eat food that's not been heat metabolized, you get less waste products. But what's interesting, we see another pattern. Late night eating is understood. Everyone knows this, but we see it really impacts sleep. And where it impacts sleep the highest, if it's a processed food. So the elements in processed with E number additives actually interfere with brain function. As well. Everyone's waking up now to Maggie Cube, and MSG and flavor enhancers. They can contain glutamate, which interferes with brain function. And if eaten at night, creates a lot of problem around the brain. So, okay, let me say before I forget, just jumping slightly. So one of the most profound things that we've seen with CBD medicine is spectrum disorder. Yeah. And let me say this, controversial statement alert. Yeah. Everybody's on the spectrum order if you were vaccinated as a child. Yeah. Everybody has some level of spectrum thing, you know. But if you've done detox and purification, you've minimized the damage from vaccine. So
I've never been vaccinated.
Yeah, excellent. You have conscious parents. Excellent.
Yeah.
That's good. They are conscious parents, yeah. But we see that the adults, they're somewhere on that spectrum, even though they were called fully functioning young. So everybody took vaccine, took a hit and took damage. Okay. But let's go into the realm of like fully autistic children. One pattern for autistic children, when we scan them, look at them, it's like you're looking at the child is 10 years old, but his whole profile biochemically and organs is like someone 70 years old. It's so deranged inside, you know. And we find a lot of times the spectrum, they can't focus, they can't sit down, they're highly restless. And we've seen in real time relaxing products and CBD. There's just like, if you look at, anyone goes online now and sees a lot of research now, and they're waking up realizing one of the main answers to start healing spectrum disorder, CBD.
Oh my Gideons.
And real time as well, literally. So you have a child here, spectrum, can't sit down, can't focus on something, get them to CBD, literally almost in a few minutes, bang, start to sit down. I see. So a lot of child's full on spectrum where parents are really struggling. One of the first things is get them sleeping. So
and when you're what would be the dose level?
Adult dose. with spectrum, with,
what would you consider an adult though? What, milligram?
you know what? I just get it in there.
What is that? Droplets under the tongue?
Yeah. High dose and also transdermal as well, because sometimes with spectrum they are very fast. They won't take certain things. So we work with transdermal and have that in a transdermal application. Yeah. So we find that's immediate, and many parents are so grateful because they see the change almost in real time.
Wow.
With uncontrollable or hyperactive or very restless spectrum disorder children. With what the cannabinoids do very, very quickly.
Wow.
Yeah, we've seen this. We've seen this.
In real time.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's just a pity. So this is the thing. And so most spectrum disorder, most autism, the highest spectrum disorder is black boys. You know this, yeah?
Yeah.
You know?
I know, yeah.
Yeah, black boys have the highest impact from vaccination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the if you millennials and down, and the disparity, the you know, between masculine and feminine, the standoff, the trajectory of life path for the black males of that age group, the pitifulness of states that we find a lot of our young black men in.
No, that's social factors. I think I'm talking about pure biochemical factors, which mean that if a black male child has a vaccine, his risk of entering into spectrum disorder is 4 times more than any other demographic.
Oh yeah, the point that I was going to actually get to is that most of these people they'd say that they're on the spectrum. They've got some disorder.
Yeah.
There's you know, that whole mental health crisis is that's the crux of it. And again, the suicide rates of our men is phenomenal. It's a scary unspoken conversation. A lot of people like to tuck it underneath the carpet, but it's a scary fact. Our young black soldiers are suffering out there. Suffering.
Yeah. Well, I always advise parents, please do not vaccinate your children. It's one of the worst things you can do. Do not vaccinate at all. In fact, do not even think about vaccination.
It's not necessary. It's not necessary.
Nature
has provided many ways for quote unquote the idea of what a vaccination stands for.
Yeah. Also, vaccination as well. You've lost. You used that word before. Autonomy. You've lost autonomy of your child. That's one step. Lost autonomy, and there are multiple ways within the system where they gain some level of autonomy over your child, and decisions that affect that child. So when you make a stand that you're not going to vaccinate a child, it's a very, very important and powerful decision to make, the step to take. Yeah, so that's that. So yeah, so these are some interesting things. I want to talk about a little about water, and I find people still not fully on point with water. So all the tap water is entirely toxic. You know, if you go and look online, you can look at your water board authority, ask them to send. You can go online. In fact, yesterday I asked for that. Go online and look at the water quality report, and you'd be shocked. There's over 10,000 compounds in tap water. Okay, and then bottled water is a few degrees better than tap water. Now what we found is the nanoplastics, not the microplastics. There's nanoplastics, which are literally even smaller than microplastics. And it's one of the biggest things now, microplastics ending up in people's systems, liver, gut, brain. So this message is not going, people are still drinking bottled water, you know? No way.
I used to promote everyone get a distiller and add the necessary nutrients to the water that you're missing.
Yeah. So
I'm big on.
yeah, distiller purification, water, high level water filtration is really important. And again, we're seeing this as a major health challenge, people, that highly contaminated water. And what the body does, the body will reject low grade water. The body will say, it will only take just as much as it needs. It will not welcome that
Rest
unpure
of
water
this. Yeah.
into the cells, you see. Oh, talking of water, do you know, did I mention earlier on that I beg people, if you wake up at night, don't drink water after 6. Now, so people take it as new normal that they wake up at night. But when you wake up at night, you don't go back to where you were in that sleep cascade because your body cycles through steps to get to stage 4 or 5. If you've woken up while you're just before you get into REM, the body's got to cycle all the way back in to get into REM. So increasing amount of people are waking up at night. So before, it was only people 50, 60, 70 and above woke up at night. Now 30, 40-year-olds waking up to urinate. So we've got increased levels of bladder problems. Mobile phone in the pocket is one. Higher levels of candida infection and other UTIs. Antibiotic use has ensured that a lot of people have got low-level UTIs. So they can't literally hold a bladder full of water. So that is really destroying people's sleep, having to wake up. So we have a strategy. So don't drink. And if you're waking up at 6, waking up in the evening at night, sorry, don't imbibe any fluid after 6. Instead, over drink in the morning, in the afternoon, and then that massively changes your sleep experience, not having to wake up. In fact, I tell people, don't take it as normal to wake up. Take it as something is seriously wrong if you wake up out of your sleep to go and urinate. So that's a tip. That's a tip there. Yeah. Okay. So we've had a great session. I think I've said the main thrust of what I
Oh
wanted to
gosh,
share
you've
today.
said so much. And
Yeah.
Max has got her hand back up again.
Yeah.
Darian. Yep, sorry, brother. Darian, with the water, because I had that problem, having 2 cesareans, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I had a weak bladder issue, and it was something I had to be very, very cognizant of.
Yeah.
With the
Okay.
water, one of the tips I got from Barbara O'Neill, a lovely old girl from New Zealand, is to put the Celtic salt, actually hold it under your tongue whilst you're drinking the water. It
Yeah.
changes the whole dynamics of and how your body utilizes the water. And that has helped me immensely. I genuinely can say that's a hack that works. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. And one reason why that works, if you go back to school in biology class, you learned about osmosis.
Osmosis, yeah,
Yeah.
water moves from a more higher concentrated area to a lower concentrated. Yep, I remembered. Yep.
Yeah. Is it the other way around? Low to high? I can't remember one way.
Osmosis, yeah, it moves from where it's more concentrated, where there's
Yeah.
more water, and
Yeah.
it moves it into the least concentrated area, isn't it?
No, I think it's the other way around. Correct me if
Is
I'm
it?
wrong. I think water goes into high. Anyway, basically the salt corrects salt, like sea salt, because the
Yes,
minerals create the correct osmotic potential
that's
in,
it. Powerful.
in inside the cell and outside the cell. So we see a lot of people, they're actually dehydrated. They're drinking a lot of water, but that water's not going to cell. They don't have the proper electrolytes, so the water can be conveyed into the cell, which is very, 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 very interesting. We've seen this very, very, very common. All of a sudden, this gives them some salt and also pure water, and the body can actually absorb that water properly. So it's very interesting, but biochemistry is so complex. In terms of nutrients, I'd say electrolytes are possibly the highest, most important nutrients. Probably, maybe on one level, they're maybe not more important than vitamins, but they're more immediately needed on a second-by-second basis than vitamins. So a lot of people are low on minerals for various factors not absorbing, and the highest mineral-rich sources are vegetables. How do you get vegetables? Highest, most elegant way, juice vegetables. Do that as a lifetime habit, juice vegetables.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So I told you everyone it was worth holding on for Mr. Derin Bepo and what he has shared with us today Man, if we even put in 10%, the quality of our lives would change dramatically. Hold on to that 10 things to do a day. Like, so powerful. Thank you so much for coming in at the last and delivering such a powerful. Show Derin some love in the chat room. Let me see some ones. Let me see some real support for, he was working all day, he ran the clients out, and he decided to come and share some love and share some insights. If you look at that, if you know you learned something today from Mr. Derin, don't be shy in showing him some appreciation. Come on now.
Okay, I've got a few answers.
Come on. Come on. I told you, he's one of the best, if not the best. And just to have that quick hour and 10 minutes with him, I told you it's going to change your life. And trust me, I'm going to be sitting, me and Derin I'm not parting from this gentleman's company. I want him on the retreat. The retreat's going to be massive. I spoke with Basil already. Basil say, yeah, he's already there. I know Derin will get there. We'll get him there. He needs a holiday. We want.
Yeah, I was saying when you asked me, I said, when you describe Portugal, it sounded a bit attractive because
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it sounds like maybe I could get there and just have a nice time at the same time as well. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's possible. That's possible.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. The best of the best, we networking together and providing something real positive and powerful and being in the presence of this man. Come on, man. Come on, people. Come on. It's been a powerful, this has been an added bonus. An added bonus. You didn't even expect to get this. Now you know you can go to your bed and aim to get some good quality sleep. And
don't put your phone. Stop putting the phone in the bedroom. It's the worst mistake.
Well, I got the router.
Switch off the router.
Is the router switched
off? Switch router.
Yeah.
And switch off router is just level 1. I got 10 steps to get radiation free. Switching off router is just about level 1. Okay? In radiation-free lifestyle, we've got to understand that how to use Ethernet to get Ethernet in your house. You don't actually you don't need Wi-Fi. Okay? You don't need Wi-Fi. You can run everything with Ethernet.
Absolutely.
Ethernet adapter, which of course you less than £100, depending on size.
Less than £20.
And it set it up in 15 minutes.
And plus you get a better signal.
And yeah, better signal, less hackable, and you can flip off the Wi-Fi. You can flip it off.
Yeah.
And if you need it, you can flip it on again, but you should be running for good health at least 90% of the time running on Ethernet, not Wi-Fi. This is a big, big thing that people's radiation exposure is creating huge damage for people's lives, health, brainwave patterning, DNA, red blood cell production, oxidative stress in the body. Multiple systems are having impact from radiation. So I'm quite big in this. I'll never stop campaigning and getting people to get the radiation down. And if you want, maybe we can do like a whole just seminar just on that and
absolutely
problems and go solution. There's so many solutions now how to minimize your radiation exposure.
I would love to. Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is the beginning of great things to come. This has been absolutely magical. And again, the appreciation. Trust me, it's changed my life. It's changed my life just listening to you for the hour. And even in the realms of the things that I do, it's allowed me to just even look at perspectives a little bit more deeper and honor it. It's because the science is there and it's being prescribed to people also for their betterment and their progress, and also to stand in the arena on this topic as well, to pick such a topic, CBD and all things natural, and be able to say, I'm going to go out there and get the team together. And I'm more of this, Om Shanti, dong, dong, dong. These are the scientists.
Yeah.
These are the practitioners. These are the aiders, these are the helpers, these are the ones that sat down in the laboratory and found out the link, the bridge, the science to make it applicable. and to bring such a beautiful, powerful team of people that can actually talk about CBD, THC in such a high regard and a high manner. I am honored. I am so honored. I am so honored. And boy, I tell you, it's been a beautiful pleasure this whole
Yeah,
weekend. And to
yeah.
top it off with you, sir, I am
Well,
so honored.
yeah, the pleasure's mine. And again, like I just feel you know, you're saying these nice things, but we just touched into like just less, probably even less than much less than 5% of the total.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we just touched the side. So hopefully, with over with your gig in Portugal, we can go a lot deeper. And
Absolutely.
actually do some experimental work. What happens when you shift state? You can actually shift state with tones, frequencies, oils, and cannabinoids. You can actually shift state. You can shift state in real time within an hour. Shift state. Okay. Uh,
Massive healing, and we're doing that.
mm, mm. You see?
You know,
So,
because again, these sciences are being robbed from us, you know, and we see it being thrown again, even in the CBD world and the community, you know, people a bit, even the film, Weed the People, you don't see no black people in it.
mhm. Yeah,
That's another thing. You don't see no black people out there that's held up in a high regard that says, yes, look, CBD, THC is actually
yeah,
something to hold of regard. So to find the top of the top people, like I'm saying, to actually unify and bring something powerful, we have to take this as something really serious. We
yeah.
have to.
The
We have to.
mastermind. I mean, some of the research around THC that what science has worked out, the brain has receptor sites. Yeah. And it's only yesterday that they uncovered a cannabinoid system, which is a whole system the body has dedicated that works with cannabinoids. But the body's not making cannabinoids. They've got to come from outside the body. See? So what's one of the interesting things about cannabinoids? Because we have got 9 major body systems, or we did have. But you know, in the last 4 years, there have been 4 new systems discovered in the body. One of them is
Wow.
one is a cannabinoid system. There's one called the interstitial system. And then what's the other flip? I forget the other 2. Cannabinoid system, interstitial system. Oh, microbiome. The microbiome is a system all by itself. Okay. Now, if microbiome is interesting, let me tell you something interesting. There's a lady, she died about a month ago, I think. But she was the oldest person in the world, apparently.
Okay.
Okay, according to records, but I know there's people in Africa, the Caribbean, who even way past that. But she
Mm.
she was 124, I think. She was the
Okay.
oldest person in the world. Now, what was fascinating, and I understand microbiome, I think I do. I respect and understand that, and I'm learning more, you know. But what they found out galvanized me into really looking at a whole another level and respecting a lot more. They found this lady, when she died, I think she was French, she had the gut microbiome of a child.
Wow.
Let's think about that. Let that sink in. She
That's
was like,
deep.
she was 124 years old. She was the oldest recorded person on the planet. And as they've studied her, what's her skill set? She had the gut microbiome of a child. Yes.
I don't, but if people knew how, because you got 3 ages, and the most important one is your biological age. And what
Mhm.
affects that the most is your microbiome.
Mhm. This is what science is finding. Now, the science around microbiome, I think in the last 20 years, they've discovered more around microbiome and gut bacteria than in the last 200 years of medical research. And the research keeps coming out. And a lot of the research, again, it's linking into mental emotional areas. They're finding a lot of depression, mood problems,
Is adding to
gut microbiome. You see?
absolutely.
Yeah, your overall immune system functionality, microbiome. You see, so many factors. So here's us human beings, the most advanced in this creation,
Complex thing in the
but
creation.
and we rely on these bacteria to function. We rely on microscopic bacteria to function in the gut. So what's interesting? That's why again, there's gut bacteria.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what people don't understand. What do the bacteria eat? That's the problem. You see, what do they eat? So people are taking a lot of probiotics and prebiotics. Well, the prebiotics are supposed to be the food, but if you don't have a diet that's high in cellulose is basically plant matter. All plants are made of cellulose.
Listen good. We're getting back
You
there
see?
because he's touching on a hot key.
Yeah. So
Cellular regeneration.
cellulose is plant matter. Without plant matter, you can't host good bacterial colonies. You can pay them money, you can whack them in there, but if they're hungry, they don't have plant material, they're gone. Conversely, the negative gut bacteria, they're not looking for plant material. They're munching down remnants of your hot dog, your pizza, and your McDonald's.
Yeah.
You see.
That's
right.
right.
That's what I'm trying to work. I'm trying to work out how does a gut biome work on a high carnivore diet for humans. I know animals.
Well, this is the thing is people don't realize how much life they have walking with them. Their micro genetic level, they carrying so much different life forces within them. Some of them good, some of them bad, and this is the balance. This is the balance.
Yeah.
This is the balance.
So what's happened now? What's happened is that what we've seen this if somebody has had just one course of antibiotics, it's upsided their gut biome. Just one.
Yeah, of course.
Just one.
So wipeout.
Yeah. And they may not know that's happened. Then it starts going from different symptomologies, and they don't know that the gut bacteria, which might have been fragile anyway, has been wiped by just one course of antibiotics. So I always ask people, what's the first syllable in antibiotic?
A.
Syllable.
Oh.
Anti.
Anti.
What's the second syllable?
Bio.
Thank you. What's bio? Life. So riddle me this one. How can see, here's a contract. Before you have to agree, they have to tell you.
Yeah.
So that's when they're giving you anti-life. And
That's
you agree
right.
to take it. So you know what I'm saying? Anti-life. How will you take anti-life and expect
It's not easy, man.
you see?
Anti-bio.
Yeah, that's by this.
Teach.
So I'm actually doing something I've never done before. I'm going on a I always I give myself health challenges and health things. Yeah. So I use a lot of fermented, some of the highest foods you can get in your body are fermented foods.
That's right.
Whereas
Fermented
fermented
vegetables. Absolutely powerful.
Fermented, yeah. So I'm putting myself in a challenge. I'm going to do because this I'm doing a 30 days where I am going to eat more fermented foods than I've ever eaten in my whole life in one period. So basically my whole diet, 80 to 90% of my diet will only be fermented foods for the next 30 days. And
that's a supercharge of enzymes and stuff in the body running rampant.
Yeah, enzymes, beneficial microbes, the bifidus and So when we understand fermented foods is basically it's so pancreatic sparing. The pancreas is not doing any work. So most people's pancreas is whacked. So they're eating processed, they're eating cooked foods. The pancreas has to sweat to break that down. Most people's pancreas is not working.
Is out of whack? That's right.
They can't make enough enzymes. So when you eat fermented foods, it's replete, rich, redolent, and abundant in just all enzymes, digestive enzymes. So the pancreas whistles, doesn't have to really work. And when the organ does not work, the organ's regenerating and repairing. So it's an interesting question. If anybody wants to join me, a step up in terms of fermented foods, so sauerkraut.
Let's take that challenge on.
Sauerkraut.
Give us
sauerkraut, kimchi.
Give us some quick tips as to what particular veggies.
Okay, sauerkrauts, kimchi. But when you buy them, make sure you're buying the unpasteurized one. There's a company called Loving Foods. Loving Foods. They can buy them on Amazon, and they're highly specialized in doing fermented vegetables.
Okay.
Loving Foods. And then you can buy organic juices like organic beetroot, which has been fermented. So basically,
Organic. I love my beetroot. I so love my beetroot. My gosh.
kefir and vegetable kefir if you're averse to dairy. Sauerkraut. That's why. Listen. Let's say something, right? So who are some tough people on this planet in terms of from the toughest Caucasians is Eastern Europeans.
Yeah.
Those are tough people. Who's the
Russians.
Who's the number one boxer in the world? That Ukrainian guy. Do you know why those people are so tough? Look, cabbage to them is like rice to us.
Okay. That's all they're on.
They live on cabbage and fermented cabbage, which is sauerkraut. It's one of the most powerful things you can eat. Yeah. Because why it's powerful, at the point you're eating it, it's already been pre-digested. It's releasing nutrients into your body with ease, with no downside. So there you go. That's my challenge. I'm sharing it with you. So I'm doing this experiment. Well,
at the moment, I'm doing this 30-day challenge. In fact, yeah. Make a note to introduce everybody who are not members of the Transcending Matters WhatsApp group. Send them an invitation. Because at the moment, we're doing a 30-day challenge. And we always add in new things. And this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Yeah. Fermented challenges coming in people into the program. So it's going to be powerful. Can we have another webinar on foods, please? Absolutely. We've got.
Well, let's say big thanks to Tarun, because I heard, and I was introduced to him, and I heard what he was doing, and I'm so busy, I'm so tight, but to be honest, I wasn't interested. I was going to politely say, yeah, no, I'm not doing them. But when I saw the level of his administration and setup and everything, I said, no, I want to be involved. I was very impressed. So it's very, very good. So if you want to do anything, let me know. If you want to do anything, if you've got any specific topics you want to go on, I used to do a lot of webinars before. I've got all the webinar kit. I haven't done them. People keep asking, Dan, when's your next webinar? But if you want to do anything, let me know. I'll be there. We can elucidate, educate, motivate.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure.
And elevate. All right. I'm gone now.
All right. So beautiful souls.
Yeah.
We've been blessed. We've been so blessed with this conversation in closing. It's been powerful. I'm going to release you all now, and let's just go away with some super gratitude of such a powerful night and a powerful closing. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us those insights. The magazine, Sister Letitia, is sitting there just touching up, and she's waiting to press send. So much. The information to connect with Derin is also in the magazine. His phone number for health stores, Health Restore, yeah. The Health Restore program. And when I say he really does restore your health, this man, come on. And it's just powerful. It's just powerful. So thank you all once again for joining me for these 2 days. I hope that I've been of some service to you all, that you all can appreciate the effort that we put to put this together for you. Listen out for more things and stay blessed, stay beautiful, and stay on the best side of being you.
Excellent.
Ashe. Beautiful.
Got back to the home.
So much. The information to connect with Derin is also in the magazine. His phone number for health stores, Health Restore, yeah. The Health Restore program. And when I say he really does restore your health, this man, Come on. And it's just powerful. It's just powerful. So thank you all once again for joining me for these 2 days. I hope that I've been of some service to you all, that you all can appreciate the effort that we put to put this together for you. Listen out for more things and stay blessed.